Greetings. I am coming to you. I'm sitting in my car. I just got back from the supermarket. Try to go out there this evening to get a few supplies for my family, and I realized that it's pretty much empty. Basic food supply, like meat to make dinners or whatever for a family, is no longer there. But while I'm not stressed about it, I'm actually in a state of reflection in terms of where we are as a world. And one of the things that came to mind is recognizing that we have become part of a source. We have become part of a larger source that's fed into a very, very powerful country. And I'm not going to mention the name of the country. We all know the source of the country and where this virus originated from. But realizing that we have patched in to become consumers of this particular country for years, right? It's been decades that we have been plugged into a system and not questioned this system. And here we are, right, in year 2020. And in the year 2020, on the third month, we are now forced to look at our lives from a different angle. So sometimes I think about that and I wonder, and it makes me realize that nothing is accidental. Here's why it's not accidental: because if we are going to get rid of the old patterns, and we are going to become more aware using our consciousness and leveling up to the degree that we need to be leveling up as human beings, as conscious, aware human beings. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, this is such a learning experience for all of us. Recognizing that there are so many things that we, within our own individuality, has to change. There's so many behavior patterns that we, within our own self-awareness, right, needs to change. So this virus, right, the coronavirus, it's COVID-19. What that says to my consciousness, or it speaks to my spirit, is, and here's what it's saying to me. It is getting rid of all things. It's getting rid of anything that belonged to the 1900s. 19, the number 19, right? If you add 1 and 9, it's 10, and that number is a number of completion. If you know numerology, it's a number of completion. We have to complete a cycle of old patterns, old behavior patterns, old thought processes, old way of supporting one country, if you will, that has dominated, has complete control over the world's economy. We have plugged into that country, and that country has taken us and has, quite frankly, used us into little guinea pigs, right? Because we are so excessive as human beings. Our excessive behavior patterns to look good, which is the commodity for looking good, it's unreal. I mean, you name it, there is a part of our body that's sold to support our need to look good, that's manufactured in this country. Our appetite, our food supply chain, right, comes from that country. If you think of anything and everything in your household and you look to see where it was manufactured, or clothing is manufactured in this country, we have taken the pure essence of our livelihood from where we live, wherever that is, and we have infused and sent it over to that country. And we find ourselves now in a situation where there's an unknown. There is an unknown that we don't know what tomorrow will bring. We don't know what the next 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, few months will bring for us. But I think what we can continue to do is continue to learn from this experience and continue to get to that place where we are now thinking of our own livelihood and our own way of doing things and our own way of existence. If I were to take my own self and my family, I'm a family of technically five, three sons, myself and my husband. And my mom stays with us part-time. When she's not in Guyana, where I'm from, she's with us in South Florida. And I think of my own behavior patterns in my house and the over excessive behavior patterns that I have allowed my kids, my children, to take part in. They unfortunately again, my husband and I work very hard to be where we are, like many of you guys who are patching into my videos, right? We work really hard. We try to give our kids a lifestyle that perhaps we were not used to, or we want to make sure that they are happy. And in doing so, what have we done? We have continued to infuse them with freedoms, certain freedoms, right? I mean, the video games, right? The food supply in the house. There are times that I look at my refrigerator and I feel ashamed, quite frankly, as a conscious, aware human being, to know that, if I make dinners, my kids refuse to eat the dinner on the third day, the leftovers on the third day. So what happens with those leftovers after a while? What happens is it's trash. It goes to trash. And you think of things like that and you're like, here I am as this conscious, aware human being, and I talk about raising the consciousness, we're raising the awareness, raising the vibration of the universe. But then at the same token, I'm wasting food. My family wastes food. Today, on this Sunday evening, what an eye-opening for me experience, because I went to the supermarket to get some basic necessities to make dinner for the rest of the week for my family. And the realization of not having basic meat supply is something that completely blew my mind. But I think of it very positively, because here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it is a good time now for me to make changes in my own household. Changes that will impact my kids for the future, for their future. Changes that will be a healthier lifestyle for my kids, myself, and all of the above. So I say all of that to say that, with change, there is letting go. In order for us to open up a new door, one door has to be closed. It's just the law of the universe and the way it works. So my understanding of what's going on right now, like I said, I'm not a scientist. So there's very limited knowledge as far as the actual virus itself. We all are aware of what we are aware of because we're all patching into the news or whatever resource that is. We know it's a fast-moving virus. We're also aware that, of course, the first stats told us that, it was a certain specific percentage or demographic of our environment, of our population would be impacted. Nobody knows really, because it's changing rather quickly, and it changes all the time. But one thing I can continue to tell us is, here's the deal. We cannot go into that place of negativity, and we should not go into that place of panic and negativity, because the way I'm approaching this whole situation, which is the unknown, right, is to implement certain strategies and certain processes in my home that will teach my kids long-term survival skills in terms of, you're going to eat what is put in front of you. You're going to stop being so excessive in your pattern, in your behavior pattern, because we have become such a, including my kids and a lot of people that I know, we have become such an over excessive glutton, if you will, very, very aware of our behavior patterns, and over consuming, right? We consume. Many of us go shopping just because we have the money to spend. What a great time now to really kind of hunker down and really hone into those behavior patterns and really recognize things for what they are. So to me, the way I'm looking at this is truly allowing me to grow. It is going to allow me to grow. It's going to allow me to implement certain rules in my home that will be long-term beneficial to my children and to myself. And I hope you guys can do the same for yourself and your family. You know, let's look at this in a sort of positive light where we can now learn how to take our power back. You know, every time you leave your house, you spend money, right? Every time you go out anywhere, you are spending hundreds of dollars. We are all aware of that. I think it's a great opportunity right now for us to spend more time with our families, for us to know, bring out those board games again, you know, for us to pick up a good book again and read, you know, whatever, watch a movie together as a family. But I think it is all the things that we have overindulged in for years and years and years and years. And here we are stuck, if you will, and our power is somewhat being taken away from us. Our life as we know it has been taken away from us. But the one thing that we have is that power that we can take back our lives, and we can apply this entire experience and make our lives a much better life going forward. That's what I'm going to do for myself. I hope you can take little nuggets out of what I'm saying and apply it to how it resonates to you. Everyone is going to have a whole different way of looking at this. But my encouragement to you tonight is know that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. If we continue to be on the same trajectory as we are on right now, which is overutilization, over commoditization, we will lose this planet. The existence of who we are as human beings will cease to exist, and we have got to take control back. We were warned with global warming, but no one did anything about it, right? Well, I shouldn't say no one did. People are doing things about it, but there was still a lot of resistance about global warming. Well, here we are now with a global virus. Let's think about that for a moment. Guys, I love all of you, right? I'll keep bringing these videos. If it supports you, please subscribe to my channel. And guys, make it an awesome night. Love all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.